Okay, let's get started. Just open up Manage Your Trades application. And we'll go through some of the features. So what we can see here after the log on, I've got the first form, Manage Your Trades control panel. See down the bottom here, logged on as me, and this is the version number. So every time you get a new version, you'll see this number increment by 1. Just going across the menu here, we've got My Account. Now these are the details that you as a user logged on will see. Some of the new features added here are trading platforms. Now trading platforms, this is a configuration area where you can add or edit the trading platforms that you use to submit your trades. You can see here that I have 2 already created. FP Markets, let's go in, hit the edit button, and brings up the details of this trading platform account. So we have an account name, we have the web address, so this is where you can enter the address. I put in the login, so if I open that web address, we'll be able to see that it will take me to the FP Markets logon form. Here we have it there. Just close the browser. Now back to the maintain trading platform account details. We also can put in the default fees and charges. So every time we submit a trade, what is the default value that is going to be shown to us? Put in there $20. Other details are who is your broker. This is optional. Broker details optional. So we have a broker contact name, broker email, a phone number, and here is an option to be able to email the broker and have the broker make changes on my trading platform. So you may have a relationship with your broker where you can directly from Manage Your Trades submit a trade rather than put it on the platform yourself. You may want your broker to do that for you, so you can email through the details. Okay, and I'll apply that change. $20 there, changes have been applied. Okay, cancel. I can add a new trading platform. I can also see where my subscription is up to. So I can see here all the different exchanges that I'm subscribed to, name, the status, they're all active, and what is the expiry of that exchange. Just close the account form. Now we're going to go to charts, going to have a look at global indices. Okay, the change that's happened in the latest release for global indices is we are able now to see a risk rating over here on the top left hand corner of the chart, and we can see here that I've clicked on the ASX 200 and it's showing a moderate risk for the ASX 200 stock. Go to the S&P 500. It's showing a low risk long. So we have moderate risk long for the ASX. We have a low risk long for the S&P 500. An example of an index which is trading more in the short direction. Just underneath here, Brazil ADR index. And we can see here that it's in the short direction and it shows a risk rating of moderate risk short. The detail behind where this rating comes from is down here. We have a trade direction bias, and this is where MACD is used. Detail at any point in time on the chart is color coded. So I've just put my cursor right here to the end and I can see a bias of moderate risk short. And as I traverse my mouse over, I will see just above me that the rating is changing as the color changes there. For instance, the green here, you can see the candles highlighted are right at this peak here, and we can see that at that point in time the bias is a low risk long. Another feature that I've added in the last few weeks is in the menu option here, quick stock chart. Just going to select a stock at random. I'm going to select the NAB, and I'm going to show you where I've created an option here to backfill an active trade. So there's a wizard, a backfill active trade wizard option here, and what that means is that there has been a trade that I already have on my trading platform that was entered in the past at some point in time for a price and so many shares, etc., and we're going to backfill it here. So on the stock which the backfill active trade belongs, click on the backfill active trade wizard, and I get the information that I need to enter. I'm going to assume that I put in a trade around $35 here. So again, this is fictitious, just to show you how it works. I get all the dates historically of which the trade of $35 was reached during that day. So I'm just going to select a day back on the 1st of August 2014. How many shares did I purchase? 444. And what was the periodicity that I was managing this trade? I can choose either daily or weekly. I'm going to change it to weekly here, and I'm going to be following a 3 trends long strategy. Click the next button and on the wizard, and what's happened behind the scenes is the chart has changed to show me the details of the stock as it was on the 1st of August 2014. It's shown me a weekly chart, and it's also shown me what would have been the risk and reward levels had I taken the trade on that day according to the strategy 3 trends long. So just going through some of the details here on the backfill form. There's the entry price, $35 that I put in. The risk stop, it has auto calculated for me at $32.07. So it's color coded orange to match the orange risk line there. The trade risk value is $1,300 for 444 shares. It's showing me that at that point in time, the system has chosen a fixed reward target, $35, giving me a risk ratio of 0.22, so not a very good risk ratio. And that's primarily because we're just approaching a long-term peak there. And I'll just show the dominant line. There we go, there's the dominant line there. So the auto-calculated reward was at that point. It's also showing me the scale outs based on this amount of risk. So here they are here, reward targets 1, 2 and 3 of a reward to risk ratio of 1 to 1, 2 to 1 and 3 to 1. At the point in time which I entered this trade, I may have had my own risk and reward targets that I'd set. I'm free to change this information. These are just the defaults here. I'm also free to choose which one of these I want to keep. So in the case of the suggested reward targets, I can remove them. As I do, it's actually removed those lines from the chart. You can see the color coding matches. So the color here is a light blue, matches the light blue lines shown to you there for all the reward targets. I remove them here, and it removes those lines off the chart. And I'm left with just the singular reward target there. Just going to keep the 1 to 1, tick that there. So I'm left with a 1 to 1 reward to risk ratio at the point in time. I'm going to click the next button. Here I select what was the trading platform. It might have been FP Markets, and you can see here that the default entry fees and charges, $20 comes up. That's because when I configured my trading platform account, I set a default of $20 there. I'm going to click next, and it just asked me to confirm all of those details. Are they correct? The trade was entered $35, risk stop $32.07, reward target $37.93. They're into 1 to 1 reward to risk ratio, showing you the number of shares, the fees and charges, and I can create an active trade from that. So the trade was created for me. It's now in an active status. No stocks remaining in the list. If I go to my list of active trades, I will see here that the NAB, there it is there, a weekly trade And I will see here it's drawn the line for me at the date that the trade was entered, and it shows me the current state of the market in the weekly trend and where my risk and reward sit at that point in time that I selected, where they sit now in relation to the market. And you can see that I would have got a one-to-one scale out at that point there. While I'm on this active trade, I'll just make a note here to mention that there's extra information that appears just under the header here about what is the detail about this trade right now. So the trading platform that was used, FP Markets, you can see that that's a link. So because we have the web address, I can click on that link and it will actually open up the web address, which is the FP Markets logon form. It tells me the entry price, the date it was triggered, 1st of August, how many shares. The initial risk value was $1,301. The current risk value is the same because the risk has not changed. And I have a market value here, which is what is the value if I was to exit the trade at the current candle. So you can see here it's 1,380. So that is where the market is in relation to my entry price. That if I got out right now on this last candle, I would be receiving a profit of $1,380.84. So just close this form now and go back to the control panel here, and we're going to have a look at some new reports. So opening up the reports, what we have here is two reports that I've written. I'm going to show you first of all the second one in the list here called trade position and what that actually means. I'm going to click the view button here, and I'm presented with the report parameters for looking at the trade position. So I can look at active trades here, and you can see here I have a total of 55 active trades. Now those 55 active trades that I have are spread across various exchanges, across periodicities, different scan types, even across different trading platforms, and there's a mixture of capital and demonstration. So I have the ability now to slice and dice and select what positions of which trades I'm interested to look at. I'm going to just choose run report now and have a look at all 55. So it just takes a couple of seconds to run through those 55, and here I'm presented with that list of 55 trades. Now I'm going to go through and show you the options and what detail you have at your disposal on this report. Now a trade position is what in relation to the risk, current market and reward targets, where am I at with each individual trade? So for instance, if I was to look at the first one on the list here, Reynolds American Inc., it's a New York Stock Exchange, I can see here an orange bar. Now the orange bar tells me that if I was to be stopped out at the current market, I would be in profit of $2,406. So the orange bar there represents the risk stop. So there is the total here for the value at risk of all of my trades, and I can see here that I'm risking a total of $23,000, so minus $23,000, out of a total capital pool of $852,000. So you can see that my value at risk across all my 55 trades only represents a very small portion of the total capital that's actually on the market right now. The next bar across, the light blue one, is the market value. So if I was to exit the trade at the close of the current candle, what amount would I receive? So you can see here for Reynolds American Inc., I'd be receiving $6,500 if I was to exit the trade at the close of market right now. So I'm going to just show you also that we have the option to remove those parameters. I can just show risk only. So for each individual trade, how much am I going to either be in profit or in loss for each individual trade if I was to be stopped out. So I'm going to scroll down the list here, and I can see here that it is an order because I selected all 55 trades. So I start with all my NYSE, New York Stock Exchange trades, go down, and you can see here that it's sorted so that by the trade that's in profit the most, if its risk stop was to be triggered, through to the trades here. Now I'm starting on a new set of stocks for the Nasdaq, so it's sorted again in that exchange by the risk stop which is going to give me the most reward, and following through to the trade through the Nasdaq which is going to be triggered at a loss. So because I'm doing trade management, I'm risking at most $1,000 per trade. So you can see here that the bars which are at the minus $1,000 figure are the ones which are more recent, because I haven't trailed those risk stops yet. So scrolling back up the list here, when I come back into the NYSE, you can see there's quite a few stocks there that haven't yet been trailed. I'm going to remove the value at risk there and show just the reward targets. So the reward targets, notice the color coding there does complement the chart when you're showing your risk stops and reward targets. The orange representing the line which is the risk stop, blue is market value, and the brighter blue here is the reward target. So if I was to go to any one of these trades and I was to look at where my reward targets were set, if I was to meet those reward targets, this is the amount of profit that I would be making should those reward targets be met. So I can show a multiple per trade. So Reynolds American, I'm showing the reward target, where my current market exit would get me to that amount, and if I was to be stopped out, where I would, what profit would I be making in this case, because it is in the positive. So let's just confirm that. We're going to go and have a look at Reynolds. We're just going to remember a couple of numbers here, 2,400, 4,300. I'm now going to go to my list of active trades. Going to look up Reynolds, NYSE, and RAI. There it is there. And we can see here that there's my entry price, there's my current risk stop, there's my current reward target, and I'm just going to quote those numbers again. Here we can see on the risk stop tab, 2,400 odd, go to the reward target, 4,300 odd. So it does marry across on the chart. So what you've got on that report is a nice bar chart of all your stocks that are showing you the position of each individual stock in relation to what would be the value should the trade be triggered, and what would be the value at market, which is in this case on the close of the current candle, and what would be the value I would be obtaining in profit should the market reach my reward target there. I'm now going to go back to the control panel, so remove that, and I'm going to go through a typical session where we would be selecting some stocks from a scan and taking them through to the submission status. So I'm going to have a look at tonight's scans. I'm going to choose the New York Stock Exchange daily 3 trends long. I'm going to just tick across here and choose the best of the best stocks. I'm going to view them. So we're looking at a scan here. Put on some indicators, peaks, troughs, dominant. I'm going to show what are reward risk. We can see here that there are a couple of historic points of supply. Just going to quickly go back to them. There they are there in relation to the current market. So the system has actually presented to me that I can make a reward to risk ratio of 1.26 if I leave it on the defaults. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to accept this particular stock, Express. I'm going to progress it through quickly into a trade to submit to my trading platform. So I'm not interested in the remainder of these stocks. I'm now going to go through to awaiting setup. There's the stock there, Express. There is the reward to risk ratio that was shown to me. I'm going to accept those defaults. I'm going to copy this trade to a setup. I'm now going to save this setup. It's telling me I'm now in awaiting submission status. Now going to go to awaiting submission. There's the trade there. It's a lot cleaner now because all we're left with is what was default selected for you as the appropriate risk stop to take, and what were the 1-to-1, 2-to-1 and 3-to-1 reward targets in relation to that risk stop there. All that information is presented to you up here. I'm now in the submission stage. So in the submission, it's ready for me to submit onto my trading platform. I go to the next step. I can go and look up the ex-dividend date and reporting date. Next step, go to trade submitted. So here is where I get to put the trade with all of the relevant details as shown to me on this chart. The first thing here is to select the trading platform account. I'm going to select FP Markets. Submission period is the current date, in this case the 21st of the 4th. Hover my mouse over the last candle, it is the 21st of the 4th there. So I'm now going to open a trade order sheet. So the trade order sheet is what I can use now with all the details on it to submit my trade onto my trading platform, which I chose to be FP Markets. So you can see here that I'm given the link, so I can click on that link and I'm going to open up FP Markets. Going to log in. Now I'm not actually going to log in to my trading platform. What feature I wanted to show you is you can see how this form stays on top of your screen. So even though we have a browser in the background ready for me to log on, I have a trade order sheet which I can just move to the side here, so that when I go and enter the details onto the trading platform, I have everything in front of me on this form, which is sitting alongside the details that I need to enter onto my trading platform to submit that trade. When I've done that, I can just confirm, yes, it was a CFD trade. I'm told on my trading platform how much capital I would be needing to use to submit that trade. So I would enter the value in there, and the fees and charges that I would be needing to consider on the FP Markets platform. In this case, I've had a default of $20 that's come up there. Now, when I have actually entered the details onto my trading platform, I just click the confirm, apply, and the trade has been submitted, NYSE EXPR, now in awaiting trigger status. So that just shows you how quick it can be to take a list of scanned stocks, present one of them, get all the relevant details for the stock and submit it on my trading platform. I'm now going to just go and have a look at that trade, which I've been told is in the waiting to be triggered, and EXPR, there's the trade there, awaiting to be triggered. So the entry price, the risk stop, and the 3 reward targets. So I'm just going to go back now to the control panel. That ends this video. So what I've shown you in this video are the list of new features that have been added over the last several weeks. I encourage you to open up the Manage Your Trades application and have a look at the video, go through it, try some trades out yourself. Remember, each trade you select, you can make it just a demonstration trade only. So some of the clients that I have are using the Manage Your Trades application to just make trades which are demonstration only, so they can get used to the features and play around with it and see how they are trading in the market.